Welcome back to Rifleman Reloaded. Today, we're kind of having a little repeat episode on the AR-10. Pretty much what happened was that when Will was here, and we kind of forgot to turn on the microphone. So we're gonna try to do this again with the mic on. So I'm Zach, and we're gonna talk about the Aero Precision M5 that I assembled or built, or however you want to conceive it to be. So, long story short, I wanted to get a rifle that was a 308. But a lot of military rifles from back in the day, like the FALs and the Mosses that came in and we had a 308 conversion, those are kind of skyrocketed with a lot of the military firearms. But I was like, okay, well, I'll build this. The reason for this build was because I wanted a rifle chambered at 308, 7.62x51 also. So this was the cheaper alternative. This rifle. We're gonna start from the rear, the butt of the gun, to the front of the gun, and we're gonna talk about what I did, why I made it this way, and how it came to be. So starting from the back, we have a, let me put this forward a little bit. So on the back we have a mag pull adjustable rear stock, cheek riser, and also stock extender. We also have a mag pull Picatinny rail for our M-LOK to standard Picatinny for if you want to put a monopod, if you want this rifle to stay stable when you're not holding it. The adjustable stocks with the carbine length buffer tube or the full rifle length buffer tube. There's a full length A2 buffer tube on this rifle. There's also a JTP Enterprises buffer spring. We have a charging handle from Aero Precision, which is the breech. We have the AT3 canted fixed sights for the rear and as well as the front, which is going to be right here. It's canted or offset, whichever terminology you prefer. The BCG, I have an Aero Precision BCG single extractor, and this is going to be upgraded here relatively soon, which I'm really excited about. We also have the upper receiver, which is the M5 standard from Aero Precision. They have two variants. They have the M5E for the enhanced, and they have the standard M5. The only reason why I went with the M5 and not the M5E is because the M5E uses a proprietary rail system, rail handguard, whatever you want to call it. And I want the ability to switch this handguard out with something else that I prefer, something a little bit more custom, which is in the works. And we'll show you how to pretty much swap that out on this channel when that part gets here. We have a Magpul forward vertical grip. I like it. It's perfect for my hand. We have the Duramag 20 round magazine. A lot of people prefer the Lancer magazines, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's the best hybrid magazine personally. It's mixed between the steel feed lips with the polymer body of the mag. We have an AT3 two-stage trigger. I like AT3, they make good products. They're blue collar friendly. Eventually I will switch this out to something a little bit more sexier. So we'll get there when we can. On the top optic, I actually went with the Sig Sauer LVPO Tango. This is the 1x10 power. There's a lot of pros and cons with this optic. I can't wait till we do a review just solely on this optic. But for the money, I personally believe it's a good optic to have if you want to get into this range. We also have a 1-inch riser. Going forward, we have a standard muzzle device. This is when money was kind of running up dry because, as you know, optics can cost a lot of money. We're not even talking about EOTech or Trijicon. We have a standard A2 birdcage. If they're on almost every barrel out there if you want to buy an AR-15 out of the store. But this one I built and assembled. This was like, I think, the cheapest part, I believe. We have a Magpul bipod, which I can't wait till we talk about because I don't like it for the AR-10. AR-15 I think is more appropriate, but we'll get to about that later, the pros and cons of this build. So let's talk about this rifle. Why did I build it? Oh, sorry, we also have an 18-inch ballistic advantage barrel. And before everyone starts going, oh, it's ballistic advantage. Let me tell you why. So moving forward, and I did the inlay filament myself. I just basically used nail polish, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I did the opposite side, did the Aero Precision logo, I did that in orange, and we also have the safe mode showing as white, and fire, red means dead. So I'm sure all you gun experts out there know what that means. So moving on forward, why did I build this rifle? I wanted something in 308, but I also didn't want to drop a shit ton of money on a rifle that is probably not going to be as customizable as, you know, an AR-10 is. You know, the AR-15 platform is great if you want to customize everything about it. It's like the Glock of rifles, I guess you would say. AKs are a little bit more trickier. I'm an AK guy by heart. I love my AKs. I will choose an AK over an AR-15 any day of the week, depending on range. So this rifle is actually sighted in the shoot at 200 yards. Very good grouping, but I wanted a adjustable stock. My biggest thing with 308, 308 is a more powerful cartridge than your standard 5.56. So, meaning recoil strength. So the recoil on a 308 is obviously going to be a little bit more than as you would a 5.56. So my whole thing was recoil mitigation. So what I did was I put a JP Enterprises spring in there. I'm not sure if that does anything yet. I haven't swapped out the springs yet. That's going to be in a video and a review on that spring. But I want to go with the fixed stock. I was raised on fixed stock rifles. Okay, so the adjustable rifles was never in my DNA, I guess you'd say, when my old man was teaching me how to do marksmanship. So, and we're talking about fixed stock on Lee Enfields, M1 Grands, FALs, AR-10s, AR-15s. Yeah, I'm a fixed stock kind of guy. That's just how I was raised. So, besides that point, everything got pretty expensive pretty quickly. And you know, when we talk about AR-15s, you know, you never want to go cheap on your BCG, you never want to go cheap on your barrel. And when I was at the ending stage of that, I was actually drying up my resources at the same time. So I had to work with what I had. The optic I got for 520 bucks, maybe 530 on Amazon, is on sale for the 6-hour Tango 1x10 LVPO. Charging handle was actually expensive. Charging handles are a lot more, for the AR-10 platform, was more expensive than I anticipated. For the breech, I want to say I got for $97 on Optics Planet at the time when I built this rifle. The offset sights I think I got for about 50, 60 bucks. That's just my guess. It's been a while since I've been wanting to shoot this episode, since I built it or assembled it, however you want to perceive it. Trigger was about $83. I have an ambidextrous safety selector switch. That was about 60 bucks from Aero Precision directly. I try to shop around for the best deal when I'm building. So when we get to the build of this rifle, there's a lot to go into consideration of the rifle itself. It's what's it going to be used for. This is a bench shooting rifle. It's not, I didn't build it to intend to shoot a freaking 800 yards away. I didn't build it to intend to shoot within 100 yards. I built it to the average spectrum between 200 to 500 yards, which we'll be testing out here really soon at CMP. So, in Talladega, Alabama. So the muzzle device I really wanted, I didn't have enough resources to buy it. This is more of a budget-friendly build in my opinion. The AR-10 history, there's nothing, as we said before in the last video when we did the 6.5 AR-10 from Will versus the AR-10 308, was that there's no such thing as mil-spec. The AR-10 has never been mil-spec, unlike the AR-15 has. So parts are not going to be somewhat you would consider interchangeable. As you know, with the AR-10 platform, there are two designations for it. There was the Armalite, and then there was the, well, Armalite AR-10, and then there was the DPMS 308. Aero Precision is based off the DPMS 308 platform, and you can tell by the receiver cuts. If you check out our last episode between the 6.5 and the 308 AR-10 platform, I kind of showed you the examples on the lower receiver and the upper receiver. So getting down to it, the reason why I put a riser on was because of eye relief. I mean, I was sitting really low with the cheek rest all the way down, and it was just not happening for me. And this is just my personal preference. So I put a cheap riser on there thanks to Will. He had one available for me, and it's still on my rifle. Magazine. So Magazines are very iffy. A lot of people prefer the Lancer, and I think the Lancer makes a great product. They are pricier than your standard Durmag or your standard PMag from Magpul. I prefer metal magazines over polymer. That's just me, and it's mostly based on the feed lips. The Lancer has metal feed lips with a polymer body, and I believe it's transparent as well, which looks kind of sexy in my opinion. So, magazines I usually get on deals anywhere between $17 to $22 depending on where you're at. If you're at a mom and pop shop, you're looking at around between $25 to $28, at least in the state that I reside in, which is Florida. But I prefer Durmag. These did not cause any issues whatsoever. I was able to fully maximize this magazine with capacity of 20 rounds without any jams, any double feeds, any issues whatsoever. I stand by Durmag with their AR-15 products, so I went with the AR-10 product as well. So candid sights or offset sights, you know, as a shooter, you have a reason for everything. I went with fixed candid / offset sights because it's one less move of me adjusting and flipping those up. I went with the offset just because of that reason of standard fixed, so I can easily transition that rifle from your standard shooting point of view to your 45-degree shooting program point of view and still be on target. The offset sights are not zeroed in fully yet, but the AT3s are actually holding up pretty damn good. I just need to focus on the windage. This rifle is not completely done as of yet. We are going to be putting on a adjustable gas block on this barrel for a suppressor, hopefully by December, but you know, shit happens, bills have to get paid, you know how this rolls. Moving on though, it's a damn good rifle for what we have. We have an ergo, I forgot to mention this one, we're going from butt or rear to front of the rifle. We have an ergo palm rest grip right here. At 200 yards, this thing is making a solid gripping center mass. The LVPO, we're gonna talk about another episode when we do a review, but for the money, for around 500 bucks, maybe 550 that you're gonna find it for your first starter, it's amazing, okay? This thing is freaking great. We have torque specs on the top. We're gonna show that more when we do the product review. Pretty much everything you need right out of the box, ready to go. 6 Hour is the new primary armament for the United States Army at this time, as you know, with the SIG Spear, which I'm not a fan of, and we'll get to that on another episode. And pretty much all their ordnance, from their sidearms, which are your pistols, to your squad automatic weapons, they're all 6 Hour. I believe it's a backdoor deal, but we'll talk about that another time. This is pretty much going to cover it for the AR-10 that I built. This is the Aero M5 assembled. Great rifle for bench shooting. That's how I designed this rifle and how I built it. Always remember, when you build a rifle, know exactly what you want and what you expect from it. Aero Precision is a great company. They had some issues in the past, but they have been rectified and clarified, at least from my experience with their customer service department and their machining. So if you have any questions on that or comments, please like, subscribe to our channel, comment them. I'll try to reply back to you as soon as I can, because just like multiple and many Americans, I still have a full-time corporate job. Stock is actually has a fuck. What am I trying to think of? Thinking. So this stock is compatible with the collapsible buffer. Since this stock is, I can't even fucking talk. Shit. Damn, I'm saying a lot. This is gonna be heavily edited.